The painting, Figure 4, presents a deeply ironic and philosophical statement. A trap that is meant to be flexible and functional has been rendered inoperable by being fixed in place. The Figure 4. Deadfall is a simple yet effective primitive trap, designed to collapse under tension, catching its intended prey. However, in this image, the trap has been restrained by lead straps, stripping it of its purpose and leaving it rigid, ineffective, and absurdly ornamental. The number 4 is formed using wooden beams, fastened together with metal bands that prevent any movement. The textures are rough, aged, and suggest a sense of past utility, now negated. Each limb of the structure is restrained, its potential energy suffocated by unnecessary security. In the background, faint numerical markings, 1, 2, 3, 4, suggest a process, a sequence, perhaps the logical steps of how this trap should have functioned. But instead of action, there is stasis. Instead of catching something external, it has only succeeded in trapping itself. A striking detail is the presence of a small red object, possibly bait or a piece of organic matter, impaled at the trigger point. This suggests that in its arrested state, the trap has instead inflicted harm upon itself, an unintentional self-sacrifice. You are perfect just as you are, and you could use a little improvement. Shunryu Suzuki. The Figure 4 trap, in its natural state, is an elegant solution, a design that works because it allows movement, tension, and release. But when fear or rigidity take over, when we attempt to fix and secure what should remain dynamic, we destroy its very function. This reflects a common Zen teaching. Attachment leads to suffering, whether it is attachment to security, certainty, control, or identity. The result is often a paradox. What was once useful becomes a burden. A person obsessed with control may find themselves paralyzed, unable to act. The trap that holds too tightly catches nothing. In seeking to ensure its own function, the Figure 4 has become useless. The same applies to life. When we try to control everything, we cease to be truly alive. This image resonates with hexagram 29, Can, the abysmal, water, which represents a situation where adaptability is key. Can advises that the way through difficulty is not to resist or lock oneself in place, but to move like water, flowing, adjusting, finding the natural path. Another relevant hexagram is hexagram 47, Kun, oppression, exhaustion, a state of being constrained, of feeling stuck, yet carrying the potential for liberation. The Figure 4 in the painting represents such exhaustion, caught in self-imposed restraints. But as Kun suggests, recognizing this is the first step toward release. The soft overcomes the hard, the flexible overcomes the rigid. Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu's wisdom is profoundly relevant here. The strongest trees bend with the wind, while the rigid ones break. The most effective strategies allow adaptation. In Taoism, true power comes from flexibility, not force. The Figure 4's failure is a lesson for us. Where in our lives have we locked ourselves into rigidity, mistakenly believing it would make us stronger? Where have we lost adaptability in the name of control? The Tao invites us to loosen our grip, to trust the natural flow of things. Batchelor speaks often about the human tendency to construct meaning rigidly, as if securing a framework will provide lasting answers. But meaning is not static. It is something we must remain open to, something that shifts and evolves. The Figure 4, in its frozen state, represents a mind that has become too attached to certainty, too fearful of change. Figure 4 is a meditation on the dangers of over-fixing, over-planning, and over-controlling. The very thing that should enable function has instead ensured failure. The irony is that in its attempt to secure itself, it has rendered itself useless. This speaks to a broader truth. We are often the architects of our own stagnation. Whether it is in relationships, careers, spiritual pursuits, or creative endeavors, we can become so focused on ensuring success that we eliminate the very conditions necessary for it. Where in your life have you become too rigid, too controlled, too afraid to let things unfold naturally? Where has your need for certainty prevented you from moving forward? Today, take a moment to examine these self-imposed constraints. What would happen if you loosened them? What if, instead of securing everything in place, you allowed for movement, for uncertainty, for flow? The figure 4 is not broken. It is simply held too tightly. Release the straps, and it will work again. The same is true for you.